Hey, and welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our journey to 250,000. So help me to get there. All right. Like this, subscribe, share it with a friend because it's important. I promise you. And you're going to really like this episode because I want to start by talking about Trump, of course, refusing to release his medical records. No different than when he refused to release his IRS returns. Why? Because they are problematic. Plain and simple. If it turned around and said that he was the healthiest person in the planet, like Ronnie Jackson, whatever the hell the guy's name that Donald confuses me with, he would be releasing them just as he would his tax returns. But nope, there's a problem. And he will not release those medical records for anything. All right. So what does Kamala Harris do? What she should be doing. She starts to discuss it the other day when she's doing a rally in Greenville, North Carolina. But before I show you that, I want to show you two clips, right? You can't make this up. Two clips from Trump's town hall last night in Pennsylvania, showing his mental state. And maybe you'll understand why he doesn't want to release his medical records. Play the first clip.
It will be, I'll tell you, if everything works out, if everybody gets out and votes on January 5th or before,
He has no idea, in fact, what day. He completely forgot that it's November 5th is election day. All right, play the second clip. When he said, this is insane. Play that clip.
YMCA, it's fun to stay at home.
Look away, Dixieland.
I mean, 39 minutes. The guy's playing his playlist. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And dancing to it. He's doing the little bop. You got Kristi Noem, who's there on side. First of all, I don't even understand why she's even there. She has no connection to Pennsylvania. I mean, for God's sakes, she's sitting there bopping and dancing. They should have gotten her a pole or something in order to keep the crowd humored. I mean, this thing was so stupid. And then you see people just standing there with their arms crossed. They're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? We're sitting here, and instead of discussing policy, instead of discussing what the constituents of Pennsylvania want to hear that he will do in order to benefit their life, for 39 minutes, 39, they're sitting there and they're playing Trump's playlist and he's dancing to it. Like if he's, what's the name? What's the mail review thing? I mean, that's how funny that this is. He thinks he's like Magic Mike. Right? That's what I was waiting for him to drop to the floor and start like stripping down to his tidy whities or his Pampers. This is absolutely absurd. That's his mental state. It's gonzo. All right. Now, I want to show you something. I want you to look at what Kamala Harris said about Trump's medical records, because again, she's nailing it right on the head. Play it.
But here's the thing, North Carolina, and he's not being transparent with the voters. He's not being transparent. So check this out. He refuses to release his medical records. I've done it. Every other presidential candidate in modern era has done it. He is unwilling to do a 60 Minutes interview. Other major party candidate has done for more than half a century. He is unwilling to meet for a second debate. And here's the thing. It makes you wonder, why does his staff want him to hide away? One must question, are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable to lead America? Is that what's going on? So, folks, for these reasons and so many more, it is time to turn the page.
Yeah, it is time to turn the page. And she's exactly right. The reason that they don't want Trump out there at all, basically saying anything, especially anything that's not scripted for him, is they don't want the people to see legitimately how unhinged, how unstable, how diminished that he has become. All right. This campaign has killed him. The legal issues have killed him. He knows for him, and hear me on this, my friends, this is a do or die situation for him. If he wins this election, he escapes accountability. Yeah, he does. He will escape all accountability. I promise you. E. Jean Carroll will not see a dime. Manhattan District Attorney 34 counts will never see Donald Trump incarcerated or held accountable. The New York Attorney General, our unsinkable Tish James, with her $500 million judgment against Trump, the Trump Corporation, shit ain't gonna happen. I promise you. And yes, I understand as a lawyer, I understand that a president federal cannot pardon himself from a state crime. It doesn't matter. There's a million other ways that he'll be able to do it. He will choke the Manhattan DA's office based on finances and holding it back. He will do a million different things in order to ensure that there is no accountability to him. So for him, this is a do or die situation. And how will we know that? Well, here's what Trump posted in response to Kamala Harris's comments. I've put out more medical exams than any other president in history. Bullshit. And aced 2 cognitive exams. Bullshit again. The doctor stated that my cognitive exams were exceptional, 2 exclamation mark. And I am far healthier than Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden, but especially Kamala. Also, I am far too busy campaigning to take time from the 22 days left, as I am using every hour of every day campaigning, because we have to take back our country from the radical left people that are destroying it. MAGA 2024, right? Lie after lie after lie. He did not take the cognitive exam that he's referring to. On top of that, he didn't ace anything. And the fact that Ronnie Jackson turns around, the pill doctor, the pill mill doctor of the White House, turns around and says that he's the healthiest president of all time. That's no problem. If you are, release your medical records, right? I'll turn around. If I released mine, turn around and say, I have blood clotting issues. They'll turn around and say that I have hypertension. Right? These are the things that I have. And I'm a year younger than Kamala. She's in much better health even than I. And I feel I look pretty good, but we all have our health issues. Why? Because genetics. It's just the way that it is. All right. So it's Trump being evasive because he doesn't want anyone to know the truth. Then Tim Walz decided to chime in on it. And let's hear what good old Coach has to say. Take it away.
Over the weekend, Kamala Harris made it very clear on this. She's ready. She has been making this clear for a long time. She's ready to be commander-in-chief, and she released her medical records. Straight, clean bill of health. Physical, mental stamina to do the job. Now, I think you all know where I'm going with this, don't you? We're all wondering, Donald Trump said that he would release his numbers. He would release his medical records. Look, he says now, I think he forgot to do it. He's been forgetting things. We'll give him a break on this. But Kamala Harris is right on this. Watch his rallies. He's confused. He's a nearly 80-year-old man. He's ranting and rambling until people get bored and leave his rallies. That's happening.
Right. Exactly. And that's exactly what his campaign staff is trying to prevent. It's actually why they didn't allow people to park their cars within 6 miles from Coachella. They didn't want people walking out because, truthfully, after you heard one, it's the same as hearing them. They're boring as shit and they are stupid. But I brought up a second ago, listen, I have high blood pressure. You know who else has high blood pressure? My dad. right? It's my DNA. I happen to have high blood pressure, and so does my brother, and blah, 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 right? I also suffer from migraines. Hey, thank you, Mom, right? I want to emphasize for a second on this point Trump's complete stupidity, his complete and total ignorance, his stupidity about his health, about health in general. Because at a recent rally, this ass clown asked anyone, he goes and he asks the audience if they believe in genetics. He doesn't, so he asks the audience, is there anyone here, quite frankly, that believes in genetics? You know who does? I do, right? Play the clip.
He's the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, like 40 years or 41 years. Can you imagine? So this is good. Does anybody believe in genes? Do you guys believe in genetics? These guys have good genetics too for safety, and that's all we want you for. We don't want you for anything else. We don't want you for anything else. But for those...
What he's trying to say here, my friends, all right, one is he'll use genetics only to the point that he thinks it benefits him. He had an uncle who, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is true, you could look it up. He had an uncle who was a professor at MIT. And we all know MIT is a phenomenal school. Don't get me wrong. But I think his uncle died either 40 or 50 years ago. So what he's trying to say is that genetics, as for intelligence, runs in his family. All right? Now, okay, but if you're going to turn around and you're going to talk about genetics running in your family, both his mother and his father suffered from dementia. All right? And we're seeing a very, very odd Donald Trump, especially the more that he's out there on the campaign trail and the more that he's speaking at these rallies, the more we realize legitimately how unstable he actually is. And that's why I'm going to end this episode as I do all. And I can't wait till I stop, right? With saying this. Make sure you go to vote.org. Make sure that you're fully registered to vote. Make sure you get to the ballot box, and make sure, because this is, and I will say this 1,000 more times, this is the most consequential election in your lifetime. That's for certain. And make sure, in order to ensure the future of America and our democratic republic, make sure you vote Harris Walz in 2024. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.